The views and opinions on this show are for entertainment purposes only. The only factual information is any story that has happened to AT2 or the parties involved. Other than that, go ahead and get you a drink, get you something to eat, just relax and enjoy the show. Let's have fun. All right, y'all, let's get real.
But I'm not surprised that Mr. Paschel will be able to convince friends, family, fellow citizens that he's a good guy, that he's an upstanding citizen. He's a handsome guy, he's charismatic, he has a job. He's also very image conscious. I'm not surprised at all that he projects an image outwardly to the world that he is this type of person. What we have seen here and what has been exposed in this trial is that what is going on behind closed doors is much different than the image that Mr. Paschel projects out to the rest of the world. As I've stated, this behavior towards these women is sick, it is sadistic, it goes beyond a desire to inflict physical harm on these women. It speaks of a deep psychological issue, I think, that Mr. Paschel has a desire to inflict as much emotional damage to these women as possible. The fact that he traveled to the state of Florida to sneak in the back door of Miss Moon's parents' home uninvited, engaged in aggressive sexual behavior following that intrusion. I think the record shows here that Mr. Paschel is manipulative, that he thinks, hey, just let me talk my way out of this. He thinks he can do that. I'm deeply concerned that he, after being found guilty, while in custody, was attempting to have a third party go see Ms. Chapman, again, unsolicited, at her home, in direct contravention of any order that this court has given him regarding contacting the victim in this case. And not only that, he was willing to use his children as a pawn in this illicit scheme to try to convince Ms. Chapman to come in here and speak on his behalf. That's disgusting, and he should be disgusted by that behavior. This court is. Mr. Paschel, sir, if you please stand. Geoffrey Ian Paschel in docket 116806, the jury having found you guilty in count 1 of aggravated kidnapping, a Class B felony. For the reasons stated, the court finds that the appropriate sentence in this case is 18 years to serve. You're a range 2 offender. This, of course, will be a 100% service rate. As to the misdemeanor counts in 2 and 3, the appropriate sentence in those will be 11 months, 29 days to serve. Those will run concurrently with the aggravated kidnapping in count 1. The pleas will be incorporated into the judgment, or pardon me, the jury's verdict will be incorporated into the judgment, and judgment will enter at this time.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the show. Talk the Real Deal with AT2. Yes, I'm your host, AT2. I kind of wanted to start the show and get right into that because I didn't want to pussyfoot around it. This is a very serious topic. And, you know, there's just a few things that I wanted to point out. At first, I was just going to leave this alone. But then I was like, no, I have to give my opinion and I have to speak on this. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming. What's up, Mimi? What's up, K-pop? What's up, Yvette Abby? What's up, Vegas Girl? All things popcorn. I know we got Southern Belle, Lauren, V. We got a lot of people up in here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Jaya, thank you for tuning into the show. Yeah, this man is a complete psychopath. And, the thing about him was that he was so cocky. I really want to dive into a few things. And this is Geoffrey Paschel from 90 Day Fiancé. He was back in 2020. That was his season that he was on. He was with Varya, which we'll talk about her trash ass too. And they had the love triangle with the Mary girl. She's trash too as well, and we'll get into the reason why. But this happened in this situation that he's going to prison. Well, he's in prison for, happened in June 2019. What some people didn't know, and what I found out, because I thought this was after he filmed the show. No, what ended up happening was that this situation went down, and then 4 months later he went to Russia to film with Varya, and then the show didn't debut until March 2020. So TLC knew about this whole situation the whole time and still let this guy film. It wasn't that he was just on the show, like this happened to quote unquote come up. No, this situation went down, and then he filmed, and then they showed his whole storyline and everything in March of 2020. So they had way enough time to know. And this guy has prior history. The ex-wife testified. So it was the ex-fiance that the situation went down with and we don't have to say allegedly because he's going to jail for it. The kidnapping, the aggravated assault, not letting her call 911. This is what he's going to prison for. Yeah, there's lots of history. And that's why because some people are like, well, how come he got 18 years? Like he didn't kill anyone. But no, like this is it's in his history. This is his nature. He is naturally a disgusting human being. I don't want to say he was born this way, but he definitely has characteristics of a psychopath, and it's very disturbing. And for anyone to pussyfoot around it and pretend like this guy is, such a nice guy and all this stuff, no, F that. He is trash, and he deserved to go into jail. Honestly, they're being very nice. I think he should have went to jail for a lot longer, but that's a topic for a different day. This guy, beat his ex-fiance, took away her phone, dragged her across the floor, made sure she couldn't call 911. How she ended up getting out was that he fell asleep, and that's when she escaped to the neighbor's house. She had to escape to the neighbor's house to call 911. No telling if she would have stayed there in the morning, what would have happened. You know what I mean? Like, we're not even thinking about the what if. What if she would have just decided to stay there and just take it, What if she would have just decided just to stay there and take and not escape out? He held this woman captive. He held her captive. We can't pretend like this is normal. This is not normal at all. This is not normal. You held this woman captive, and you thought that this shit was cool? And then, he tried. You got to remember, he was talking and was all like, oh, this lady did this stuff to herself. Don't forget, you can't forget that part. This man was saying this lady did this stuff herself. Like she attacked herself. She hurt herself. And he was saying the alleged situation, the alleged victim and all this stuff, knowing that this man was so disgusting, so heinous, so violent, what he did to this woman, pretending like, oh, alleged. And he was just so cocky and everything. He had no sympathy at all. No sympathy for what he did. He did not give a damn at all. He did not care about what he did to this woman. He also talked about a plea deal. So they were actually trying to get him to plead guilty, and then he wouldn't have got any jail time or anything like that. Jack said it was his twin brother. Right. He literally said that, they try to give him a plea deal. And he was like, I'm not taking a plea deal. I don't want this on my record because this didn't happen. Like, he convinced himself. And that's why I played the clip of the judge basically letting him know, like, he talks a good game. He talks a very good game trying to convince people, but really he's a scumbag. He's the scum at the bottom of your fucking shoe. Like, this guy is disgusting. But they offer him a plea deal and he was gonna get no jail time. But he ended up not taking the plea deal, and he was all like, I don't want this on my record. So somewhere in his head, he thought that he was going to get away with this. He convinced himself that he was innocent. That's a psychopath for you. You convinced yourself that you were innocent. I mean, there was a testimony from one of his ex-wives where she said, like, this man forced her to have sex multiple times. Y'all know what I mean by that. Forced her to have sex multiple times. This man is disgusting. Disgusting. There's no other way to put it. And for him to be out so long, and they said the reason why this case took so long was because of Coviana and stuff going on, couldn't get the courts and stuff like that. But just knowing that this man just was roaming around talking shit. Like, you guys seen interviews with him just talking shit like ain't nothing happened. Like, he's going to beat this case. Sir, you are a criminal. Thank you, Marta. Yeah, you seen that. You are a criminal. And for those two women that were also featured on the show, let me show you guys this picture. So it is confirmed now. We know that he is still with Varya. And she said they don't allow him to wear a suit. Let the circus begin. If somebody don't come and arrest her and deport her ass saying some stupid shit like this, he's a criminal. He does not need to wear a suit. He is a criminal. He is a prisoner. You deserve to be in jail. You do not deserve no sympathy, no suit, no nothing. They should chain your ass naked, but that's not appropriate. He doesn't need to wear no damn suit. Are you guys still here? Put a 1 in the chat if you're still here. Okay, there we go. It said nobody was watching for a minute. It went down to 1 view, and I was like, oh, shoot. What they do? They took down my video? Okay, we still here. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. Okay, I see it now. But yeah, she was worried about him wearing a suit. And then, as you guys heard, the other lady that was featured on the show, remember their whole storyline was this whole love triangle thing. The other woman, Mary, she was featured as well too. And so what ended up happening with Mary, she blew him a kiss and the judge kicked her out. So that's what happened to her. She blew him a kiss and the judge kicked her out because there's supposed to be no communication. So, she went on her live stream and was all like, oh, I just blew him a kiss. What are you doing blowing him a kiss? And isn't he with Varya? Why are you there? Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like, what was she doing there too? Oh, and make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you, Vegas Girl, for reminding everybody. And yes, this is a serious topic. Trigger warning, just to let you guys know, definitely. Mary was talking shit to the victim. That's why she was kicked out. Oh, okay. Because she tried to say she was just blowing a kiss. Right. He ain't picked her. Exactly. Varya doesn't know it yet, but she escaped something that she may never survive. Oh. I think Randy, I think Varya is so sick in her head that she literally is all like, "Oh, as long as I get to stay in the States." I think that's honestly her goal. As long as she gets to stay here and find a way, she's thinking like this is the path that she should go. Is that Charles Manson girlfriend? It's crazy, y'all. This is wild. They both look like big dummies in the court. Yeah, they literally look like big dummies. And it's crazy because women can really take over the world. Women really can take over the world. They are the smarter species, the smarter sex, I should say, gender. But because of women like this, women that will defend a man who's obviously an abuser and just go along with it and think that it's cool to show up in the courtroom. If you want to support him, support him. I'll say that. If you want to support him, go ahead and support him. But do that privately. What the hell are you doing in the courtroom and shit? You know what I mean? Right? He is a psycho. So you think like basically he's been able to charm these women, and so that's why they're so sick in the head, and that's why they go along with whatever he say. It amazes me, some women think that because they weren't assaulted, the accused incapable of assaulting anyone. Oh, that's a very good point, Angela. That could be what it is. They don't believe what the women went through. They're probably all like, this man is just, these women are just trying to take this man down. I'm going to stand 10 toes down, but how could you not? And I didn't want to bring up the pictures, but I seen the pictures of the Kristen woman, Kristen Chapman. That's her name. I seen the pictures of her, and I was disturbed. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, look at the pictures when you guys get a chance after the video, and there's no way in hell you can tell me she did that herself. Come on now. He will learn, but too late for his victims. Guarantee he has lots more who stayed silent. Lori, that could be a possibility too as well. Because remember, he's been married like 4 times, I did want to bring up, another reason why his sentence was 18 years was because of his prior charges too, as well as all the other stuff that we talked about. You got to remember he had a controlled substance. He had that coke and that cane on him. 2 federal charges for trafficking drugs. And I think there was another one too. There was another one here. I didn't write it down. But yeah, he has a lot of charges and he's been arrested multiple times. So this is why it seemed like they threw the book at him. But you even heard the judge say like he broke into Miss Moon, her parents' house. And I mean, for those of you who just joined in, I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of what the judge said. Again, thank you guys for coming. Make sure you hit that like button as well, too. I appreciate everybody for being here, and then we'll discuss more.
But I'm not surprised that Mr. Paschel be able to convince friends, family, fellow citizens that he's a good guy, that he's an upstanding citizen. He's a handsome guy. He's charismatic. His job. He's also very image conscious. I'm not surprised at all that he projects an image outwardly to the world that he is this type of person. What we have seen here and what has been exposed in this trial is that what is going on behind closed doors is much different than the image that Mr. Paschel projects out to the rest of the world. As I've stated, this behavior towards these women is sick, it is sadistic, it goes beyond a desire to inflict physical harm on these women. It speaks of a deep psychological issue, I think, that Mr. Paschel has a desire to inflict as much emotional damage to these women as possible. The fact that he traveled to the state of Florida to sneak in the back door of Miss Moon's parents' home uninvited, engaged in aggressive sexual behavior following that intrusion. I think the record shows here that Mr. Paschel is manipulative, that he thinks, hey, just let me talk my way out of this. He thinks he can do that. I'm deeply concerned that he, after being found guilty, while in custody, was attempting to have a third party go see Ms. Chapman, again, unsolicited, at her home, in direct contravention of any order that this court has given him regarding contacting the victim in this case. And not only that, he was willing to use his children as a pawn in this illicit scheme to try to convince Ms. Chapman to come in here and speak on his behalf. That's disgusting, and he should be disgusted by that behavior. This court is. Mr. Paschel, sir, if you please stand. Geoffrey Ian Paschel in docket 116806, the jury having found you guilty in count 1 of aggravated kidnapping, a Class B felony. For the reasons stated, the court finds that the appropriate sentence in this case is 18 years to serve. You're a range 2 offender. This, of course, will be a 100% service rate. As to the misdemeanor counts in 2 and 3, the appropriate sentence in those will be 11 months, 29 days to serve. Those will run concurrently with the aggravated kidnapping in count 1. The pleas will be incorporated into the judgment, or pardon me, the jury's verdict will be incorporated into the judgment, and judgment will enter at this time.
The judge said it all. The judge said it all. I mean, this man, if you watch interviews, him on IG Live and just the shit that he would say and the shit that he would talk, it was, you know, you would think that, oh man, maybe he is innocent. You know, maybe this is just like some kind of coup or something to try to take him down. And then just watching the case back in October and then watching it now again with the sentencing and reliving everything again, it's all like, wow, how did TLC really let this man on the show? Like I said, the situation went down June 2019. 4 months later, he went to film in Russia with Varya. And then in March of 2020, they showed it, you know, not showed it, I mean, but, you know, had him on the show. They had him on the show. And, you know, and I need to look into that. A lot of you guys are talking about Big Ed. Like, how did they allow Big Ed on the show? Because Big Ed actually has like a whole bunch of accusations against him, too. I will look into that and we will do a deep dive on that. But how are they letting these people on their show and not knowing anything? And this situation happened before. It happened before he was on the show. You still let him film, and then you went ahead and put him on the season. I guess they thought, oh, well, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. Yeah. Yes, Suzanne, and he's still on TLC. Big Ed, he's still on TLC. Like, he's on all the spinoffs and everything like that. And they promote him heavily. I mean, hell, at least with Geoffrey, they didn't promote him heavily like that. He hasn't been on any of the spinoffs. His punishment was not being on the tell-all. That's what they did with Geoffrey. His punishment was that I'm just not going to be on the tell-all. Just kind of like Alina, that probably will be her punishment. She's still going to be shown throughout the show, but again, this is a more serious case than the whole Alina situation. I'm not trying to compare apples and oranges, but it seems like your punishment basically is, oh, you just don't get to be on the tell-all, but they don't actually take people off of TV that needs to be taken off of TV. That's what I'm getting from them, at least, you know? Exactly. Yeah. People were pointing out she was making fun of homeless people in her video. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Yeah, exactly. They don't. I honestly, hey, they know, like I said, nothing gets past these producers. They know everything. This is why they select people on the show. They just don't care. That's what it is. They just don't care. So it's all like, who cares? We're just going to allow people to be a part of the show. And we're just going to let them do whatever. Who cares? As long as we make money and it's a good story. That's all they care about, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but that's all they care about. But y'all, this is a serious topic, so I don't want to make this long, but I appreciate everybody being here. I did post the hotline just in case somebody is seeing this and is going through a situation right now. Please call this number, reach out to somebody. Just don't suffer in silence, definitely that. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Thank you for everybody supporting the show. If there's anything that anybody didn't get a chance to say, please hit me up in the DM on IG, AT2_for real. I just wanted to kind of make this a short show, give my opinion, and we discuss it. But other than that, y'all have a great day. I will be back later. Deuces.